Hello and welcome back to my channel once again. In the last video we discussed how simple shapes can be made to look like a tree and how we can use non-waterproof ink, and with just simply a damp brush we can spread it along our shapes and suggest that they have shadows around them. These were the three types of shapes that we had, and we built along those shapes. We've got 9 types of trees already with us, but these were the building blocks. These were for the starting level. In this video we're gonna have a look at few more designs. These are also done with very simple techniques. There's no big there's no difficulty around these. In this video specifically we're gonna use a tree like this, and we'll make some huts around it and we'll build up a landscape. So let's see how this comes along. So here I will start with the huts first, and very traditional type of huts which everybody would have drawn in their school days. But if in case you find it very difficult or feel that your houses don't look like houses or they look very amateurish, point is that we actually start doing a thing. I'll start with this, which seems like an equilateral triangle which doesn't has a base. Then I will connect it to the ground. Then a parallel line to this one. Connect it. Connect this one also. Connect this one to the ground. And we are done. If you want to follow along, I would like you to keep in mind that you draw small and you are willing to draw bad drawings. Very important. Bad drawings. This part is very important. Reason is, when you start, you will be drawing very badly and you lose commitment or passion because you are not able to draw very good in the beginning stages itself. So we're gonna do bad drawings and we're gonna get good at bad drawings. This is something that will succeed very early. It is easy to succeed in drawing bad drawings. So that's the golden rule here. Then we'll put some gap, and then again we'll use the same technique. We'll draw the top two sides of an equilateral triangle, and then we'll join this to the base. Then what we'll do is we'll try to create an illusion that this is actually at a different angle. So what we can do is we can draw a parallel line. This time we'll not draw a parallel line like this. We'll draw a parallel line like somewhere around here. Alright. And this base, we'll keep it smaller than this line, and this goes like this. And this could further suggest that this is actually a path. All right, we'll not worry about where this direction is going right now. Obviously we have two huts in two different directions altogether. Then the tree which we discussed is going to be like just a line. Then we'll do some hatching around it. Then some shaggy face, some like this. All right, so now I messed up, but I won't worry too much about it, because I can actually make it to look like a part of the tree in the later stages. And obviously the light is coming from the left. In my tutorials I have actually uh, thought of that I'll be making all my drawings where the light comes from the left. At least I will try. And the simple reason for that is uh, that we always remember where the shades are required to go. And if the light is coming from this direction, then probably we'll have something like this on the ground, which would be the shade. Just to demonstrate this, all right, then some shades, and we're done. So you see how simple things are, and why you need to do these kind of drawings, or why I think that these drawings can actually help you to start your journey in making drawings and getting better at understanding landscapes and sceneries around us, is that we are understanding shape, and with the help of shadows we understand the form. Shape, form, shape and form, these are the two very important things that you need to understand, and these is actually most important. So all right, pieces of making that helps a drawing look good or bad. And then this spot, again, if you want to understand, a sleeping ellipse, okay, and some curves, cloudy shapes which are darker on the right bottom corner. Go dark here, and some here. Dark. Hatching dots. Again, for the pot also, we going to use the same thing. All right, and all these drawings, all these lines, you see that they are desperately being drawn haywire. They are not straight lines, and this is because the houses, when you see from the distance, they look like a straight line, but they are actually not, because there are a lot of contours which are caused by the structural materials which are placed over the huts. And in villages etc, you would not see huts which have concrete roofs on them. So I've got the two flower pots sitting, and here somewhere here I would make impressions that this is some amount of brick structure, and then this is the place where my door is, and some hatching windows in this one. I will go in this direction because this has to be parallel to this one. All right, then here again some suggestions that there is a door, and all right, okay, we'll not worry about too many details right now. This area looks quite empty, so what we'll do is we'll put a tree number 1, which is actually heavier at the center, and okay, then we'll do some things like this, a few dots. In this part we'll be putting some more suggestions of shadows. Okay, again on this part I will draw a tree, which is again something like this. And I desperately do not want all the trees to look the same, and so a little variation would actually help me uh, add more dynamics, more details to the drawing. Okay, and then this area would look a little it's going at the back. However, the height difference is not much, but I will still keep some amount of perspective in place. This should be the top of the tree, which is actually, if these trees are at the same height, then I should actually consider this, because rest other amount of details can be filled in by the eyes, but at least I need to make sure that the drawing looks, that it has some amount of planning, and it's not totally random, right? Now it may not look much, but yes, we've learned a new thing, which is a hut or a house, whatever you like to call it. We've added a new type of tree, EP, and we've got some amount of perspective. We'll discuss perspective in details. It's actually a broader term, but now just for the introduction we'll keep it as it is. And in the behind, in the background of these, we can always look into adding some amount of tree here also, and this tree is actually a rounded tree. It goes in the background, right? And this part also will suggest that there are a lot of shrugs, small amount of branches here, and they are also following the same amount of the style that we have to put our branches in place. And since this area is very clustered, we'll go to the background now, and the background has a mountain, and the second mountain, and the third one is the back side of the mountain. So this would have the most amount of light as per our planning. This area would have the least amount of lighting, so I will add some ink here. And this area also, I would want it to be looked like this, and then some hatching. Those who feel that this is very simple, this is not very advanced, let me tell you this, that you will be able to make a lot of progress when you learn to be familiar with drawings, and hatching is one of the best ways to approach it. I'll show you a little example here in this part, and this is out of our scenery. Just to understand that how light acts and creates shadows in some part of the drawing, we'll do some hatching here. Okay, and we'll do some cross hatching here, again some cross hatching here, then we'll do some line suggestions this part, and start hatching from the base, again from the base, and then So hatching can do these kind of wonders for you. The more time you put into hatching, the better results you'll get. To suggest that these areas receive maximum amount of shadows, and this area also receives maximum amount of shadows, but then the shadows are actually lightened when it goes from the top to the bottom, because this area is actually causing shadow on this wall, right? So, so for the drawing part, I think we are almost done, and let's just keep things very simple. We'll cover one more point about the perspective. This goes into this direction because our perspective is somewhere around here. This is the vanishing point, one of the vanishing point, and again from this area we'll you know bring our hut a little down, and we'll not worry about the top right now because we can adjust all these things, some amount of shadow, etc. And this area is actually going like this one is going like this, and here we'll make our lines that actually helps us build the hut, and somewhere around this we'll make another line. See. And we've got the hut number 3, which was actually not planned, but we could use the perspective. That's the reason why the perspective part, it becomes very important to understand. And I am not actually getting into too much perspective right now, because that's not what the tutorial is all about. But in landscapes, otherwise it will start to look all very basic, right? So we'll be touching other parts wherein we can understand the perspective, and how the human eye will fill up all the gaps, and how that can actually help us build landscapes with lesser details, and still our drawings will be good. All right, so my wonder brush, this is actually an angled brush. I've shown this in the previous tutorial also. This is actually a very versatile brush. It does a lot of things, and this is the latest in my collection, but for some reason it has become so popular for me. In this one, again, we'll go to the darkest area first, see how much amount of ink we have, how much amount of water we have. Then again, we'll just loosen up all the ink, all the ink, some part, and the light is actually coming from this direction here for it to be considered as a drawing which actually understands the angle of light, right? We connect this one and this one, so we'll see that we are actually suggesting that the light is coming from this direction, causing shadows. We use this technique. Obviously this arrow would seem like it is from behind the mountains, but it's not like that. It's actually from this and from the top of the area. I'll go to the darkest shadow areas first, which is this tree, and I can see that I've got a lot of amount of water, and I'll reduce it to help me with whatever I wanted to plan. So I'll take some of the moisture, and this I will use it whichever area feel can use the ink, and I don't have to be very particular about how much shadows I'm placing in which area. The eyes will start to fill it up, so don't worry about if you get one or two shadows wrong. You can still move the ink I've addressed the darker areas, and I'll now wash the brush with clean water. And with this clean water, I'll come and I'll start brush from the areas which do not have any ink, and then I'll borrow some of the ink here. This will cause gradation. In some areas I'll leave. Similarly, in this area again I'll start with the areas which have ink. This time I have more amount of water because actually want some dispersal, and I will lift my brush and go in the area directly rather than dragging my brush. Now I have some amount of ink, some amount of water. I'll go to this area and address it. Again I will borrow some. I'll address this area. Again I'll borrow some and I'll address this area. Again I will borrow and let it be like this. This area, as you can see, it suggests that it is getting a lot of light right now. You can merge it or you can leave it as it is. Don't worry about tiny details because this is a very small piece of painting, so don't worry about those things. Don't try too hard because art is actually artificial. Everybody knows that these huts are not here. They are only painted here, and your success is that people start to feel as this is, feel like that these are actual pieces, these are taken from real life, and fresh water and to go in these areas, and then little to absolutely no amount of water, and then we'll start to use brush to facilitate whatever you want to accomplish. And I'll not go to the bottom because I would want this to be left like this only. Don't try too hard. Alright, now we'll see which all areas are not addressed. Okay, so it looks fine to me. We'll wait for it to dry. Alright, so now in this one again I've brought pens that are actually Artline, and I've got, I think, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 pens, different shades, and all of this for 270 rupees. However, the MRP is 300. I bought it from a local store. This is manufactured by Sachihata India Private Limited, and I've used them. They are non-waterproof, and I will show you something else now. The concept is the same, but I'll show you how simple things can actually add more life to the drawing. Here I have 3 types of greens. I think it is clearly visible which these are the 3 types of greens I have, and I will use it. This is where I want the tree to have less amount of light, medium amount of light, low or absolutely no amount of light, right? Since I have done that with the black pen, I don't think that will be very useful, but some of the lighter part can be suggested with the help of this one. The very light, I think they are only 0.4 mm. I'm only adding some hatching here, okay? All these are very soft touch, very soft, okay? This is one bush I have which can actually accommodate what I'm trying to suggest here. And then this one. Right? Some amount of hatching and this one so that it looks different from the houses. Right? Again, I can go back and bring the wet brush, but before that I will use some burnt umber and I will add some more amount of shadows under this part of the hut. Okay. Okay. But in this house, for this house specifically, I'll go dark because this house is actually getting shadows of this tree also. Okay. And desperately go and add some here. Then some amount this area. This is actually one of the great practices that one artist should actually follow. This will help you gain more control over your pen strokes and brush strokes. Overall, you'll have better grip over your equipment. Right? Something like this. Try to make them parallel and they are not merging with each other. This is what I actually want you to be doing. For demonstration, I'll show that this ink will also can be used in the similar fashion like the miniso pen that I use, and moment it gets in contact with water, it will also start to spread some amount of ink. However, it's not much, but still it does the job really well. Okay. In this tutorial series, I actually plan to do some watercolor and try out some other mediums also. I do digital paintings also. So I would want those to be incorporated, provided I get support from you people. If you subscribe, like and share my channel, I will have more bandwidth to demonstrate the kind of art I do and do a lot of different stuff. And I sell that art on the portals, which will be actually very helpful for people who want to get into the art stream, want to be self-reliant and independent and get some passive income. All these ideas are very popular and they can get you a lot of money. I sell stuff on Shutterstock and Adobe Stock. So this is now a piece that actually has huts, some amount of perspective, mountain, new type of tree number 1, tree number 2, tree number 3, tree number 4, some bushes. And now we know that we can create a landscape. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, do some practice, enjoy art, like, share and subscribe my channel. That will help me a lot, and bye.